落ち着け。騎士はいかなる時も取り乱してはならん。それ。皆への指導、さらに行き渡らせよう。
And as usual, stay triggered. Pew pew pew.
家長がこの姿を見たらなんというか。
Alright, viewers out there, if you wish to become a Knight of Trigaria, hit the subscribe button, watch some of the videos. So, as you saw just previously, classing up from a Knight into a Paladin, there's two ways to go. You become a Dark Knight or a Paladin, which is light or dark, essentially. And you get a giant sword, a single-handed sword, heavy armor here. You get a helmet, and you get a ring. So that's what you get for armor. We'll talk about some armor pieces of equipment you can look at and see what you can do with that. Now, I picked Chiseler as my ideal Paladin because he just seems like he could be that. There's plenty of others. Grados is another great example. He's actually a little bit stronger in some stats. But I like Chiseler, and I'm just going to portray him as my pally here. So what do you get? You get Shield Block of S, which is essentially, you get this in other games too. You'll see Shield Block or Shield Defense moves or something like that in other games to be able to protect you in battle. And essentially what a Paladin is like what you think it is in most games. It's a tank. It doesn't perform the most amount of damage possible. Not like some other types of knights out there. But this kind of knight is mostly for blocking stuff. So this is the person you put in the front line at the pinnacle point of the fight. You could put him in a flanking position, which would make a very strong flank. But if you want the strongest center you can have, Paladin is pretty much the way to go. So Shield Block of S has 25% chance of blocking with the shield that he has. When triggered, damage is reduced by half. Pretty much kind of like Dinadan's defense move, his parry move that he used to do in Grand Edition. Now all Paladins get this as far as Shield Block is concerned, which is awesome. Hit point recovery B, recover 3% of max HP at the beginning of every turn. So 3% of the 725. So right there. That number, not the first number, but the second number, because the first number is how many hit points you currently have. The second number is how many hit points you start with. So when it says this, at the, of max HP, they're talking about the second number there. So take 725 times it by 3%, and that's how much hit points you will get at the beginning of your next following turn, every turn. So that's what that means there. If we're going to look at some stats here, just real quick, I'm not going to cover his background and all that stuff. We're just going to look at what Paladin is and how to function as this, where to put this in battle, and how you can, do well. So we got a lot of hit points here. We have a pretty good attack. Strength is pretty good too, 94. Agility isn't bad, honestly. 84 is pretty good for a Paladin. Usually tanks don't get very, very high agility. But there's pretty good there. Intelligence 85. I think I picked Chiseler because he's kind of like sort of the average good Paladin. He doesn't have the most amazing stats all over. I mean, he's got good stats. Don't be wrong. Don't be fooled by him. But I'd have to say intelligence, agility, and defense is always the same for a Paladin right here. That's always going to be what it's going to be, 140. And MP pool of 186, that's not too bad. Mobility of 4 for this Paladin, which is really nice. Rune power of 241, pretty average. Command range of 4, really good. I like those numbers there. Rune growth of B at a level 20 Paladin, it's fantastic. Now, character growth of E, we're at the point of, well, he's at 20, so it's not gonna be amazing at this point, but it's fine. So what do we have to look forward to, right? Really it's a shield block that you're going to get that's going to be doing a lot of stuff, the hit point recovery, and that kind of stuff. But there's some other skills in here with magic and skills that you're going to really like to know about, right? So Holy Slash is your basic attack. It just does, you know, a normal attack with a slashing effect with the sword, right? So its power is 130, which is good. It's better than average, right? It's got an accuracy of 11. A lot of things have an accuracy boost of 11. It seems that's just a normal aspirating feature of a lot of knights here. But that's kind of what you get with that. And then we're going to look at the other moves here, right? All these other moves. This is all you get. And if you want to cross-class, you'll get some other stuff too. But this is the basic stuff you're going to get here. So Holy Break is his secondary critical move. This is a pre-move, which means that you can only do this by standing in one spot for one turn.
落ち着け。騎士はいかなる時も取り乱してはならん。どうだ。
そこね。
So pre-moves all have this set of boots with an X next to it. That's the symbol. That's what you're going to see. Look for that if you're like, oh my gosh, I should be able to. Nope, you got to wait a turn to build up your kinetic energy to be able to perform this move. That's why they, you know, put this in a game. I guess that's why they put it in a game. But deals massive damage to a single adjacent enemy unit. It has low accuracy. Now you can see here, we are minus 19. So it actually goes down. It's very much like Power Stroke from the original game, Legend of Orsina. Power Stroke had a lowered accuracy for the fighter class, and as you went up, you know, it missed a lot. Let's just say that. So the Knight's secondary move, their really, really good move, gives them a lot of power, but they're just not as accurate as other Knights because they're just meant to be tanks mostly, right? So it's kind of a hit or miss. It's kind of a fun gamble you can do to try this. The cool thing about this is it does have 2 extra orbs, like I just highlighted there, but it also doesn't cost you any MP. You can do this Holy Break as much as you want, and it won't cost you any MP. Now, what I would say for doing this particular move is if you're at full hit points, or you're topped off, and you're not really taking much damage, and you don't need to be healed, and nothing has to happen to your pally or tank or whatever, go ahead, try this move out. But if you're low on hit points, you might want to go for the more reliable Holy Slash. Just saying, I think it's a better call, right? Okay, let me scratch out this scribble here, and we'll look at Judgment. So here's another move that's very different, and Judgment is a lot like Divine Ray. You're going to see that they're kind of similar in a sense, but one's attack and one is physical.
落ち着け。騎士はいかなる時も取り乱してはならん。食らえ。
そこね。
So this one deals massive damage to a single adjacent enemy unit, deals ultimate damage to zombie units, which means it just straight up kills them. So if there's a zombie, it'll do 999 damage and they're just gone. They're dead. This is also a pre-move. So you're like, why'd they give me Holy Break and Judgment? Well, okay, this one's a little more powerful. This one actually has accuracy bonus. It's not like the 11% tick up at the top, the normal attack, right? It's not as much, but it does have a little accuracy bonus, so you're not going to be draining. You're not going to be wondering if you're going to miss or whatever. You'll probably hit with this. If you got good agility, that'll come into play. And so it is better than the secondary pre-move. It does have 3 orbs, but it does cost you a whopping 110 MP. Sorry about that. Let me clean it up there. So it does cost you 110 MP. So there's the differences there. It is a stronger attack by 35 power or 35 potential, and there's also the Divine Ray. So you know there's a difference here. This one's 112. This one's 110 MP. Now, I would pick Judgment over Divine Ray because the power of Judgment is 210, and this one's 170. The only difference is that if you're possibly going to miss and you're worried about missing, go with Divine Ray. Because Divine Ray will not miss. But Judgment, if it misses, you waste 110 MP. Okay, that's the only difference, clause I have to say about that. Now, Iron Aura. This is not a pre-move. I keep thinking it's a pre-move, but it's not a pre-move right here, right? And increases your defense for a limited number of turns. If you want to know what Iron Aura is, it's just another word for protect or harden, as what was put into the Grand Edition for the English-speaking people. It is protect, it is harden, it's the same thing. It doesn't cost as much. It's only 30 MP. It only works on you. It only works on the tank. So if you're going up into a very precarious situation, you're up against Stella, you're up against him, you're up against a black dragon, you're up against one of the bosses, you're up against a Viking that's very powerful. You want to go into battle, front line, go right up to him. If you want to be cautious right away, pop Iron Aura. Use this Iron Aura skill immediately. This will increase your defense. It'll make the enemy try to hit you and just fail. Fail at life trying to hit you. That's what you want with a Pally, because that's what they're good at. So, Iron Aura, try to do this as much as you can. Now we're going to talk about magic, right? Divine Ray deals major damage to a single enemy unit within a 2 hex radius, deals ultimate damage to zombie monsters. So this is the same thing as Judgment with the zombie attack. It's just that this Divine Ray goes 2 spaces out. So that's the extra bonus that you have with Divine Ray. You get an extra reach. It's also pre-move. The only downside is that power is lower. Does have 3 orbs commanding it, but the boost is it has a range of 2, and the downside it is 2 more MP, which isn't much, but it's still 2 more MP that you could have saved, which I don't know if it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but you know, that's just the reality of it. And also, finally, last but not least, we have a heal spell. Restores a major amount of hit point to one ally unit within a 3 hex radius. Has a power of 180, like they usually do. Command range of 3 here. So if we're looking at this, you just want to know on this side here kind of like emphasizes all these spells and equipment and gear, and you can see the range right there. The single dot is just you. The single white dot is you, and everything else it shows. This is an attack spell, that's why it's red, and it goes out 2 spaces. This is a healing spell, which is why it's green, it goes out 3 spaces. And that's how they show it in this game. That's essentially what they're trying to portray there. This is it's not a very cheap spell, but it's a cheap spell, spell-wise, considering the other spells. Now, Iron Aura is cheaper. You could just go with Iron Aura and save yourself a bunch of heals, but there are times that you do take a lot of damage because tanks are, well, that's what you're meant to do. And, you know, you can do the heal. So there's different ways to play, and you want to know what some of the good ways to play are. So what I would say right off the bat is, if you're going to go up to a very heavy army immediately, you could go up to them and just slash them right away. The enemy does this all the time. But what I would do is, once you finally have your formation, if you're going to break formation and just rush them, I would rush up to them and then hit Iron Aura. Because, yes, you're waiting a turn, but you're right next to them, and the very next turn, they're going to start attacking you. They will, absolutely. And if you're the first one there, they're going to attack you solely. So this Iron Aura is going to save you a lot of hit points in the long run, and then you could pop a heal on yourself later on. You could take all the damage, keep giving counter damage. The possibility of blocking the enemy too, take half damage is there as well, 25% chance. And you'll also recover some hit points because of hit point recovery. So, this is a smart way to play if you want to go in and really tank hard. go into the enemy line, bring your other troops with you, keep them close, right behind you, pop the Iron Aura. Hopefully you're not next to a bunch of curse spells and a bunch of black damage, because you can handle the defense very well, but intelligence, you also can handle being Shizzler, but some Pallies don't have as high of intelligence like 85, like Shizzler does. Good example of Shizzler for Legend of Forsena or Grand Edition would be Gwingulin, because Gwingulin starts at about 80 intelligence, and I think he's already like level 18 or something like that. And I know this is 85, so it's a little more, but it's fairly close in proximity to it. So think about Gwingulin, think about Dinadan from the previous Legend of Forsena one, and Shizzler are kind of in the same boat as far as like being able to handle damage if you're trying to reminisce on the past. But best idea, go on the front line, pop the Iron Aura, make sure you're defended, even stronger than you can be, and go at it. And at that point, you know, if you have to do a Divine Ray to take down a monster or take down a leader, you have 2 spaces to do it with Divine Ray. If they're right up in your face, try Judgment. You know, if you're taking too much damage as you're playing, just pop the Iron Aura, heal, and Iron Aura lasts for about 2 turns like Protect does. So if you're at the highest level going into the battle, you'll be able to make it last the longest, because Iron Aura will last 2 turns from the time you use it in that turn. So if you're using it the last turn, or the last set of knights going in whichever order they're going, then you only get to use it for the little bit of the end of that turn and in the first full set of the next turn. So if you're the highest level in the fight, you'll get to use it pretty much most of the battle. Just letting you know, Iron Aura is essentially Protect, but just solely for the tank, no one else. So this is why I like to go in here and I like to pop an Iron Aura, you know, right next to them, and let them try to hit me and, you know, watch them fail. After that, I like to do some heals on myself, keep myself topped off, and you can just heal yourself silly as long as you want, as much as you can, and until you're done, and then let everybody else try to push in around you, and you can just stay as this pillar of strength the whole time. But if you want to be offensive, you know, go in the front line, pop the Iron Aura, next turn, do an Iron Break, try to, you know, take down the enemy if you can, as hard as you can, do a Judgment. You know, if you have no MP left, just remember the Holy Break is there. I know it's not as accurate, but it's there for you to use. And really after that, it's just between Judgment and its Divine Ray. It's one of the two. It depends upon if they're right next to you or if they're far away. You want to do Judgment if they're right next to you, because it's slightly less and it's also slightly more power. But if they're a little further away, go with Divine Ray and just blast them from a distance and finish it off. You know, there's not much else to talking about when it comes to the Paladin when that's concerned. But what I can do is I can show you some equipment for him now that he's here. We can give him some gold gear. See how high this will go. You see we're attack 142. Just remember all these stats. Maybe take a quick picture of it in your mind, or maybe just a quick snap picture of it, and you get to see these stats just go flying through the roof. I press this. I press the triangle button on here. You can see what it does. It's going to give me some Dark Orb attacks with 7 stars. Cutlass. I can just switch it off anybody I want. I'll take this Forbidden Armor. This one has white dot defense, hit points, defense, shield block rate plus 10%, so that's going to crank it up to 35% shield block percentage, which is really nice. Inferno Helm is a red defensive helm. Rune power plus 30. Rune power is going up. And let's see what we're looking at when it comes to... Oh, let's take this Glacial one, because then we'll have red, green, and some different colors. But look at the difference here. Look at how the stats are going up. 750 to 770. Our attack is 172. Defense of 160 something. What is the Celestial? Alright, let's see. Well, that one's a white defense. Plus, actually, no. Let's do the Celestial. Shield block rate plus 15%. So now we have plus 10. plus 15 on a guy that's already got 25. So this is freaking awesome. Yeah, we have the ability to flick charm because of the 7 stars colors, but we have shield block plus 25%, plus 10, plus 15. So 15 and 10 is 25 plus 25. We can shield block 50% of the time for 50% of the damage taken to us. This is insane. When you have a paladin in this game, I gotta tell you, the paladins in this game are by far the best strength defensive unit in the game. This is like full Talos from any of the previous incarnations. This is the strongest paladin you can get. This is like Dinadan or Gwynglin maxed out in Legend of Forcina with, you know, maybe an extra shield or something like that. But I almost have to say this is more. So, yeah, I'm just saying, you want to know how to pally. Just make sure when you're walking into the fight, cast an Iron Ore on yourself, protect yourself. I know that you're going to have a lot of defense, but you'll take so much less damage to the point that you won't even probably need to heal yourself. You'll just heal yourself through your own self-healing of hit point recover every turn. Iron Ore can save you a lot of MP to do for other things like Judgment or Divine Ray. But you could also save it to heal your allies that are pushing in further beyond you, because most of the time you'll just be standing there face tanking everything with your pally skills, you know? So that's pretty much it for Paladin. That's really all you have to know. You're a frontline pusher. You can stand right in the front. You can heal allies that are pushing in around behind you, flanking the enemy from the sides. You can just stay there and heal yourself all day. You don't have much to worry about except for dark magic spells and some pretty heavy magic spells like Fallberg or Genos or something like that. Just be careful of that. Also, status afflictions. Status afflictions and heavy magic spells or dark magic spells are the thing to worry about. Just make sure you see what you see when you're moving your troop into position. And if you know you're going to be coming in contact with that, make sure you bring a couple extra healers just to heal him up, just in case, you know? So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And this was my guide for how to Paladin, how to Pally. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, definitely leave thumbs and subscribe. I'd love to see that. And leave me some comments down below. Who do you think your favorite Paladin is? I'd like to hear it.